careful who he marries. And you might say, well, what does one thing have to do with another? So he meets a nice divorced lady, and he really likes her. It happens. And the Torah says, no, that's out. And of course, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, can't even marry a widow. He has to marry somebody who's a virgin. Uh, so this is, and if you say, wait a minute, what does all this have to do with his duties? What he does at home is one thing. His duties are, as long as he's living a good life, he's living the way that he should be living. Why does he have to be in perfect health? Why do we care who he marries, etc.? And I think the real answer to all this is first of all, Kohanim is an inherited position. Okay, I can never be a Kohen. I can't be a priest for a very basic reason. My father wasn't. I can't even be a Levi. I can't even do the Levite service because we were Israel. So this is a uniquely inherited position among Jews, but we're also sending a message. Just because you are biologically a Kohen, that your father was a Kohen and therefore you're a Kohen, doesn't give you rights. It only gives you obligations. Because there's a lot of problems. According to the Secret Service, one of the toughest jobs is to guard the children of presidents because they think they can get away with everything. And they have to learn that just because your father is the president doesn't mean you have carte blanche. There's funny stories about that. There are some presidents who let their kids do whatever they want, and they never amounted to anything. Other presidents there's a very famous story that Calvin Coolidge's son was working on a tobacco farm in Ohio while he was president. Tobacco. And one of his coworkers said, if my father was president, I wouldn't be working here. And his son replied, if your father was Calvin Coolidge, you would. In other words, there's a certain limit. And this is a message we're trying to get to the people who inherit the position of Cohen. Just because your father was a Cohen doesn't mean you could do whatever you want. You represent Am Yisrael, the people of Israel, to God, and you represent God to the people of Israel. Therefore, you're in a special, unique status. How you behave, not only in the tabernacle and the temple, but also in your private life, it will be determined of your holiness, your sanctity. And therefore, we're very careful. And remember, if somebody's lame and you're seeing him perform his services, you're not looking at what he's doing. You're looking at, oh yeah, he's lame. Look at that. We want him to be in good health so that you will concentrate on what he must do. And that for us is also, remember, an observant Jew is an observed Jew. How we behave outside of shul, outside of davening, outside of prayer, is as important, maybe even more so, than how we behave in here. Something to think